You got into the safety business because you wanted to protect people, but somewhere along the way, the job started controlling your time, your schedule, your priorities, even your income potential. What if the expertise you've built over the years in the field can give you something more? More freedom, more control, more ownership of your future. I'm Sheldon Primus, the author of 7 Steps to Starting a Profitable Safety Consulting Business and the host of the Safety Consultant Podcast, with more than 350 episodes helping safety professionals become consultants and grow their career. Consulting changed my life. In fact, I'm a full-time RVer, and one consulting contract paid for my home I live in today. Now, I help safety professionals build their own consulting practice through bi-weekly coaching calls, accountability, and personal guidance. But this program isn't for everyone. Start with the Consultant Readiness Audit at sheldon.coach.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM comes the complete Signal Transmission Trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion, the book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all 3 books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.
Hi, this is Jim from Safety Wars. Before we start the program, I want to make sure everyone understands that we often talk about OSHA and EPA citations, along with some other regulatory actions from other agencies, legal cases, and criminal activity. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Proposed fines are exactly that, and they are often litigated, reduced, or vacated. We use available public records, news accounts, and press releases. We cannot warranty or guarantee the details of any of the stories we share, since we are not directly involved with these stories, at least not most of the time. Enjoy the show.
This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
And from the border of liberty and prosperity in the highway to the north, this is Safety Wars for Thursday, November 7th, 2024. How's everybody doing out there? Waiting for all the streams to kick in here. There we are. We are here. Make sure I'm on the air here. I always do a check on Safety FM. Because often when you got the board here, you got the iPad here, and I have the old iPhone here. Yes, the old broken one with the 2.5 hour long battery life. That's what we have here. Of course, everyone knows I'm on the air. And of course, everyone now texts me. Hold on. Give me a second here. Something just happened. Enjoy the music. We're going to go to commercial break. Hold on.
One Want to avoid hefty OSHA fines and keep your team safe? Let's dive into the General Duty Clause. The General Duty Clause, Section 5, A1 of the OSHA Act of 1970, is a catch-all rule to cover unregulated hazards. Employers must keep workplaces free from recognized dangers that could cause death or serious harm. For OSHA to cite you under the General Duty Clause, they must prove the following 4 things. 1. The employer failed to render its workplace free of a hazard. 2. An employee was exposed to that hazard. 3. That hazard was causing or likely to cause death or serious physical harm. And 4. Feasible means exist to free the workplace of the hazard. Employees aren't off the hook either. Section 5B mandates they follow all safety standards. Both employers and employees must work together to maintain a safe work environment. Examples: think lifting above shoulder height repeatedly, or working without proper support. Stay proactive. Monitor work areas, apply the 4-part test, and you'll prevent those nasty citations and keep everyone safe. Need help? And more information? Contact Jim Posel and the Safety Wars team to help you prevent workplace incidents, conduct safety audits and training. Contact the Safety Wars team at jim@safetywars.com or 8452-695772. Visit us on the web at www.safetywars.com. Let's build a safer workplace together.
In the professional safety community, communication and planning are just a few keys to your program's success. The question many practitioners have is, where do I start? Dr. Jay Allen, the creator of the Safety FM platform and host of the Rated R Safety Show, has built a global foundation to help you along the way. Go to safetyfm.com and listen to some of the industry's best and most involved professionals, including Blaine Hoffman with the Safety Pro, Sam Goodman with the Hop Nerd, Sheldon Primus with the Safety Consultant, Jim Posel with Safety Wars, Emily Elrod with Unapologetically Bold, and many others. As individuals, we can do great things, but as a team, we become amazing. Dial into safetyfm.com today and surround yourself with a powerful force of knowledge and support.
Want to avoid...
And we are back. Nothing too big there. Just basically, I can say this. My wife is away, so it falls on me to manage a lot of stuff. OSHA recordables, catastrophic losses, environmental disasters. You want answers? So do I. This is Jim Posel with Safety Wars.
That's my daddy.
From the front lines of the safety war, it's Safety Wars, with your host, Jim Posel on Safety FM. Get ready to face the harsh reality.
Okay, we are back here. Sorry about that, folks. No, but you know what happens. Okay. Here we are. 2 days after the election. Right, and it's very no, I knew that stuff like what's going on is happening. We're seeing a lot of stuff online. You're seeing a lot of people here very upset over the results. Right? We knew this. We knew this was going to happen. But we're here. Part of the safety war is psychological safety. Not only psychological safety, it's helping people traverse the things that we have to traverse in life, right? A lot of people, and I've been there myself, believe me. I've run for office. I've been involved in very high-level campaigns, a lot of responsibility, several presidential, and a couple of statewide campaigns. More than a couple, I forget. I would really have to think. And you get into a mode, a campaign mode. Well, what does that mean? What's the campaign mode? For me, it was I would do my regular job, my regular thing, and then I'd work on campaign things at night and on the weekends and afternoons. And, whenever we had a free moment, we would do campaign-related things. Could be anything. It could be from stuffing ballots. It could have been back in the day before we had phone banks like we have today. We had, now they have AI and pre-recorded stuff. They had it then too, but the most effective way was just to pick up that phone and start calling people on a call list. Then, knocking door to door out there. Hello, my name is Jim Polzel. I'm running for assembly. Hello, I'm with the such and such campaign. We're running I'm advocating for this. We're here to hand out some literature for you. And this started to come back this year in our neighborhood here with people going door to door here and then engaging their people. And you got to be careful because what happens is people try to eat up your time, especially for get out the vote efforts. People try to eat up your time all the time with that because if they disagree with you, guess what? They disagree with you. Keeping you going there, right, prevents you from going to maybe someone who is a little bit more receptive to your message. Yeah. So it's a little bit of a game. The other thing is you get people who want to, you're with so-and-so. Let me tell you about so-and-so. Let me tell you about my issue. Then you get all wrapped up. But what I found out was that in suburban New Jersey, you can do a maximum of 20 door knocking things per day. Now, outside of, per hour, I'm sorry. Now, outside of Halloween, really does, you apply that to Halloween. Dad, what do we do? Okay, you could go up to about 20 houses an hour in this kind of neighborhood, blah, blah, blah. You figure it out. That's really the only thing that it applies to outside of politics, is trick-or-treating. But you get into that mode. And then remember, this goes on for a long time. So you try to set things up. So let's say you're running in November one year, right? Pick a thing. We'll assume it's a regular thing, November. Note that there are other elections out there. So let's say you want to run for a major one. Assembly, state Senate, Congress, Senate, mayor. You need to, assuming that you're a relative newcomer or you're not the incumbent, you need to start 1 year. So let's say November 2025, right? There you which you have two off-year elections, which are New Jersey and Kentucky. They're off cycle. So starting in August of this year, 2024, people were already putting their names into the hat, so to speak, for November 2025. So you're in there, you're trying to raise money, you're putting together a political action committee, or you're putting together a campaign committee. You have to set up stuff with the FEC, Federal Election Commission, whatever your state says you have to do. So for New Jersey, when I ran, you had to have a treasurer. You try to get a team going, maybe if you're running offline, if you're running independent or non-affiliated, that's they call around here. Okay, well, what does that mean? And then how many ballot signatures do I need? And blah, 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 blah. You start talking with people. Maybe you start a speaking tour or what some people used to call a listening tour. Try to find out what the issues are if you don't already know. With that, right? It's always the economy and everything else. And you keep going on and on and on. And then you start like August, September the year before. And then you have to find out when all of the county conventions are, or maybe the smaller local conventions. You need to start talking a group and the whole thing. Then by January, now the petitions are issued for a lot of reasons. They may be issued like New Hampshire in like October, November, that time frame, but you get the petitions going and you go through the whole year. with that. And if you are a quote-unquote true believer, you might have been working on these issues that are out there for a long time. And maybe you found that candidate that you thought was going to be popular, was going to be able to get not only on the ballot, be able to eventually get elected, and you're working, and it is an emotional investment. Then what happens is your candidate wins, and it's good. A lot of people expect, because they were working on the campaign, now they're going to get some kind of job, political favor, a feather in their cap, something. Then what happens if they lose? And this is what the Kamala Harris people woke up to on Wednesday, or went to bed with on Tuesday night or early Wednesday morning. I wasn't on the air yesterday because I pulled basically an all-nighter on this thing. I wasn't on the air, but I pulled an all-nighter, I'll be honest with you. I didn't have a project to go to yesterday, so, it was rough. But anyway, and I had some other stuff to take care of during the day, which was mentally taxing, so I was in no condition to be here last night. You turn on TikTok, you turn on Instagram, and you get a lot of very angry people out there. Extremely angry people. We lost. This was actually, this was sent to me by a friend of the program. I'm not going to mention, obviously, who the person is. But let me, no, wrong phone. Hold on. Yes, I have the studio phone and the personal phone. Maybe one of these days I'll figure out how to get a studio phone going here, and we will get call-in, people calling in. So this is what I got from one of here. Here you go. Hold on here. All right. My sister-in-law just had my brother tell my mother, so sister-in-law had her brother, presumably her husband, tell my mother she will no longer be coming to family functions if there are Trump voters there, unless my sister and her daughter, unless my sister and blah, 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 right? And they told us an elderly mother in her late 80s. Right, Jim? What do you think? What do I think? I think what I say all along, and it's going on and on. You can check out TikTok and all those other platforms. People are no. You gotta get away from your family. I don't want to look at you because you voted for this one. Blah blah blah. And by the way, the Trump voters are not off the hook here, because in 2020 a lot of Trump voters did this also. Opposite direction. So nobody's off the hook here. I'm here to tell you it's not worth it. It's not worth it to break family relationships. It's not worth it to break friend relationships, usually. Sometimes it is if they're destructive. It's not worth it. As I said before, what these people do in Washington, Trenton, pick your state capital. If that is impacting your personal relationships, that is the problem. It's not what their policy positions are. If you feel compelled that you have to now give up familial relationships, estranged family members, and be angry all the time, that flows over into the rest of your life. That's not something you want to be a part of. Take it from someone who has lost, in the last 8 years, 13 friends and family. Not due to COVID, due to things, car accidents, illness, cancer, things of that nature, old age. It's not worth it. If you think that the people who you support in Washington, Trenton, whoever, some of them are great people, phenomenal people. They're very empathetic and everything else. But it's a toxic environment. A lot of these people are users, and you have to be very careful. If you think that they are really going to give a damn, yeah, I said it. If you think that and this is, you may want to quote this one. So, right. If you think that they give a damn about your career and everything else, you got another thing coming. Because you put your life on hold for a year for them. Look at what you missed out on. A lot. And guess what? A lot of people like politics. I like politics. I did it for a long time. But you don't get that time back. And that's what people are upset about. They put all this time and effort and everything into it. They're not going to get it back, number one. Number two is this. You're going to, or maybe number 15 at this point. What you have to realize, estranging your family members and everything over this stuff and this level of stuff, not good. There are groups that tell you that, where it's with an idea, where you have to do what they say and everything. There's a couple places, like one of them is prison, all right? You got to do what you're told all the time, and it separates you from your family. The other one is a cult. Yes, I said it. A lot of these political organizations are cults here. They're worried about the message. They're not worried necessarily about you. A lot of these political groups, same thing. They're worried about their message. They're worried about perpetuating their message. And they don't care how that impacts you personally, professionally, or anything else. What are they worried about? They see you as a walking ATM. You donate money, and they see you as a volunteer, often as, not all the time, often as slave labor. And what happens is you're in for a penny, you're in for a pound, as the old British saying used to go. You go and you keep investing. You see, throw good money after bad money, right? And you keep investing your time. Oh, well, we're not doing enough. We're not doing enough. We're not doing, well, we're not doing enough. We didn't win enough. We're not doing enough. Or it gets to the point now, you didn't vote our way, so you're an idiot. Now it used to be very subtle back in the 80s and early 90s. Well, you don't believe what I believe, you're an idiot. I actually had a boss one time, and I'm told he's a listener, so he knows what he's saying. I knows this, who he is. If you didn't agree with him on anything, you're an idiot. Hey, Jim, what do you want for lunch? You know what? I'll have a triple-decker BLT, no mayonnaise, with American cheese on rye. Well, that's a stupid thing to order. Hey, Jim, what are you doing this weekend? Well, you know what? I'm gonna go bike ride and go fishing. Well, that's not what I would do, Jim. That's nuts. Okay, and then you get pummeled with this stuff again and again and again. Forget about politics. The one company I worked for, when I was corporate, they actually issued, because not everybody is politically savvy, they actually issued things. If you do not vote for companies for candidates that support environmental issues, we're going to lose money and you're going to be out of a job. So make sure you make the vote, you do the right thing. I wish I saved some of these. This is basically what a lot of these, what it is. Now they're very overt. You don't agree with what I believe, you're evil. And it goes down both sides. This is not productive. To constantly think of someone as evil is not productive. The other side is evil. I don't agree with them. Maybe they don't have all the information that I have. Maybe they don't have my point of view, my context, because we know human organizational performance. See the Jenga back there I got at a yard sale. All right. We know that. Right. We know that with all of this stuff, context drives behavior. With this, understanding, dialogue. What do you gain by cutting off your family members, your friends? You cut the dialogue. How are you supposed to be persuasive trying to get to your side? Maybe you're really afraid that maybe you might be converted to their side. Do you ever think that? That's why these groups encourage you not to cut off relationships. So before you go out there and you do, think twice. It's not worth it. And that's what I had. That's my opening monologue here. We're going to go, and in the future, we're going to go into more election stuff later on. Now, often, just for complete disclosure, there's a lot of stuff that I don't, I'm going on another platform, Rumble and X. With this, it's not going to be content not Safety FM related. It's going to be because it's not safety related. With that, and we're going to start doing that a little bit more. So stay tuned. If you're already viewing this on Rumble, check back later on tonight. Basically, I said something that got someone upset, and they reported it to someone, and I got a ding. So some stuff we're going to be going off of Facebook and some of the other platforms, LinkedIn, that we're on. So we're going to go to another commercial break, and we will come back. In
a world where danger lurks in every corner, one man stands as a beacon of hope. Jim Posel, a veteran safety expert with over 3 decades of experience, now bringing his knowledge to you with Safety Wars. Engaging, informative, and always relevant. That's Safety Wars. Join the safety revolution with Safety Wars, available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts and videos.
Have you listened or watched the Safety War show? It does stream live on the radio and on the streamer-emers that we have. So if you have not taken a listen to Jim Posel and what the hell he's doing every evening with Safety Wars, I would strongly encourage you to take a view or take a listen, whichever option is available for you, and take a listen to what the hell he has going on. It will take some deep dives and some information that you might be interested in.
In a world where danger lurks in every corner, one man stands as a beacon of hope. Jim Posel, a veteran safety expert with over 3 decades of experience, now bringing his knowledge to you with Safety Wars. Engaging, informative, and always relevant. That's Safety Wars. Join the safety revolution with Safety Wars, available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts and videos.
All right, and we are back here. All right, we're going to go over our regular Department of Labor stuff. I did have some political stuff, but we will save it later on. Save it for the other program here, right? So, all right. U.S. Department of Labor announces guidance relief for employee benefit plans, participants, beneficiaries affected by Hurricanes Helene and Milton. Right. The U.S. Department of Labor has issued guidance and provided relief for participants and beneficiaries and employee benefit plans affected by Hurricane Helene and by Hurricane Milton. The department, again, the department, now I look at the way this is, it should be, now you can see this is, well, I don't know. Employee benefit plans affected by Hurricanes Helene and Milton. The department recognizes that plan participants and their families affected by these disasters are facing many challenges, including the ability to meet certain deadlines required by their job-based retirement, health, and other benefit plans to access benefits. The department also understands plan sponsors, fiduciaries, employers, and other service providers may face challenges complying with their obligations under the Employee Retirement Income Security Act as they work to support participants and beneficiaries in this area. This guidance will help benefit plans meet the needs of those affected by disasters. So, right, some good things. Department of Labor, right, they got things going on here. Here we have federal court orders Pennsylvania Home Health Care Agency to pay $810,000 in back wages, damages to 196 workers denied the minimum wage and overtime. The U.S. Department of Labor has obtained a consent judgment requiring Wyncote Home Health Care Agency and its owner, Dominique Connor, to pay 196 direct care employees a total of $810,000 plus in back wages and liquidated damages for routinely not paying workers overtime rates and willfully violating federal law. All right. The investigation revealed that the company regularly failed to pay employees the required overtime rate and instead paid employees who had multiple clients with separate checks for each client they worked with each week instead of combining the hours in a week to calculate overtime rates. The company paid overtime after employees worked more than 40 hours with each client. Additionally, the department found that employees frequently recorded more hours than they were paid by the employer and were not compensated for travel time between clients. The employer also failed to preserve records of hours worked, including travel time between clients when employees worked with multiple clients a day. Again, I know we were using for a service here, and we do have some experience here, where they actually had tracking software for their employees on cell phones. So you showed up at a house, you logged in. I know, because every time that they came in, Jimmy, where's your Wi-Fi password? There's no Wi-Fi, and there's no cell phone signal, there's nothing here. I said, yeah, well, welcome to Clarkstown, New York. The first cell phone company to provide reliable internet service and cell phone service is going to make a mint, I tell you. So they log on and it tracks everything. So, the fact that they were using, I would think at this point, if you are using paper and pencil to track things like this, people are going to, that might be like a red flag. All right. A company is to pay $57,000 to resolve alleged gender-based promotion discrimination at a Massachusetts headquarters. U.S. Department of Labor announced today that its Office of Federal Contract Compliance Programs and a company, a federal medical supplier, have entered into a conciliation agreement to resolve allegations of gender-based promotion discrimination at the company's headquarters. So, from a compliance evaluation from way back in 2017 and through 2018, found the company discriminated against female employees by excluding them from the selection and promotion process for clinical educator positions. The agency determined the employer's actions violated Executive Order 11246, which prohibits federal contractors from discriminating in employment based on race, color, religion, sex, sexual orientation, or gender identity, or national origin. So they are to pay $57,000 in back wages and interest to 6 interested female employees who were excluded from the process. I tell you what, you can't... no, you can't do this type of stuff. Wrong to do it to begin with, but in today's thing, you can't do it. U.S. Department of Labor awards more than $10.5 million in grants to support mine safety health training across the nation. The Department of Labor announced today that its Mine Safety and Health Administration has awarded more than $10.5 million in grants to organizations in 45 states, the Navajo Nation, and the Commonwealth of Northern Mariana Islands to reduce mining accidents, injuries, and illnesses by supporting programs such as safety and health courses. MSHA grants will support the delivery of federally mandated training and retraining for miners at surface, underground coal and metal and non-metal mines, miners employed in shell dredging or surface zone sand and gravel mining operations. That's probably what they're doing in the Northern Mariana Islands there. Training is crucial for the protection of miners. And, same with everything. And here they list all of the grants here. Wow. Okay. I think. All right, this is from the 6th. I don't think we got yesterday. Okay, great. We actually have an accident here. We did not cover this on yesterday, right? And let's see here. And for a summary, there we go. Thank you very much. Crystal Lake Contractors faces $287,000 in fines after exposing framing workers in Elborn to potentially deadly fall risks 3 times in less than a month. Falls remain the construction industry's leading cause of death and serious injuries. And I want to say this. I mentioned by accident the names of the companies. All these things are proposed. So things get litigated, vacated, negotiated, and everything in between out of this. So this is not the final thing. This is what the proposed are. And this started during the Obama administration where they realized what they had to deal with OSHA, right, with no budget limits and things of that nature. And so they said, well, can we shame companies, right, our big companies? And that's what they've been doing ever since. Falls from elevation are leading cause of fatal failures. So, OSHA inspectors first observed construction employees at work without legally required equipment on residential structure in an Elburn neighborhood. On May 10th, they witnessed similar violations. 3 weeks later, on May 31st, OSHA again found employees exposed to fall hazards at nearby work sites. The agency cited the company for allowing employees to work without fall protection at heights greater than 6 feet and failing to certify they train workers to recognize hazards or prevent falls. Again, number 1 on the hit parade for OSHA's most frequently cited standards, along with training and everything that is that one, and I think it's number 6 or 7, and number 10 for the other one, right? Inspectors also found the unsafe use of ladders and did not ensure workers had certification to operate powered industrial vehicles. That means forklifts. In this case, most likely Class 7 forklift, 4-wheel drive, lull, if I had to guess, and used damage slings to hoist materials. In all, the company received 1 willful violation, 4 repeat, and 3 serious violations, for which the company faces $287,465 in proposed penalties. These are the latest infractions for companies cited for similar citations for serious and repeat safety failures in 2022 and 2023. After OSHA opened, and this is a quote from OSHA Area Director Jacob Scott in Naperville, Illinois. After OSHA opens an investigation at one work site, we often find the same contractor has done nothing to correct similar hazards at its other sites and not bothered to make certain to train work crews on complying with federal safety protections. For several years, the company has shown a chronic disregard for the safe work operations and willingness to put its employees' lives and well-being at risk. And it goes on and on. Let's see what we have here. All right. And make sure we have this. Okay. And it goes on, right? They have 15 days to respond. Wow. All right. So they have to go and prove that this happened before. 29 CFR 1926 501B13 residential construction. Each employee engaged in residential construction activities 6 feet or more of a lower level shall be protected by a guardrail system, safety net system, or personal fall arrest system, unless another provision in this paragraph. Right? So here it is. The employer does not protect each employee required to work, right? Doing this. A, right? The most recently occurred on May 10th at a certain address. Employees are exposed to falls at approximately 11.8 feet or more above ground level while engaged in residential construction. Fall protection was not being utilized while performing construction work on the second level. This most recently occurred on May 10th at a certain thing. Employees are exposed to falls of approximately 20.5 feet or more through holes while engaged in residential construction activities. The company was previously cited for a fall violation of this occupational safety and health standard, right, which was contained in a certain inspection, blah, 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 before. And then it mentions the same thing, right? So they got them for a repeat. That's $62,104. Citation 2 and 1. Repeat. Other. The employer shall verify compliance with the paragraph A of this section by preparing a written certification record. The written certification record shall contain the name or other identity of the employee trained, the date or dates of the training, and the signature of the person who conducted the training or the signature of the employer. If the employer relies on training conducted by another employer or completed prior to the effective date of this section, the certification record shall indicate the date of the employer determined the prior training was adequate rather than the date of actual training. Yes. Grandpa can have ice cream. Yes. It is what it is. Grandpa wanted ice cream. Grandpa got ice cream. All right. So this makes me laugh because this standard's been around since 1998. And if you haven't had training since 1998, I don't think that it was, you never updated it? Really? Come on. So on or about May 10th, employees are exposed to fall hazards. I hope that they shut the job down, right, or stop working. Exposed to fall hazards while performing roofing work, and the employer did not certify that the employees have been trained to recognize fall hazards and the procedure to be followed in order to minimize those hazards. This was previously done. This is $3,548. So that's letter number 165,000. So here we go. This is letter number 2. This was May 10th also. The top step of a step ladder shall not be used as a step. 10,648. Again, the top of the... Wow, that was an expensive one. Citation 2, item 1. Type of violation, repeat serious. Again, no fall protection. 62,104. All right. And apparently they cited this one because the job before, apparently it looks like they went from job to job to job is what it looks like. That one, 72,752. And we're on to number 3, letter number 3. Citation 1, item 1, type of violation serious. Powered industrial truck operator training. All right, they did not have it. 1926-602D, which is identical to 1910-178. Right? Prior to permitting an employee to operate a powered industrial truck, except for training purposes, the employer shall ensure that each operator has successfully completed the training required by paragraph L, except as permitted by paragraph L5. Again, not certified. $8,873. By the way, we do that training here, so for a lot less than that, usually. Citation 1, item 2, type of violation serious. Synthetic web stream slings shall be immediately removed from service and if any of the following conditions are present. Snags, punctures, tears, or cuts. This was a couple of weeks later, May 31st. The employer did not ensure David slings were removed from service. $12,421. Citation 2, item 1, type of violation, willful. Again, no fall protection, and they cited them there, $124,219. Citation 3, item 1, repeat. The employer shall verify compliance with a paragraph by a certified written training record, $3,548. Again, on that one, because, no, he did it again here, right? $149,061. Now, this actually happens here. I don't know if it happened here, but this actually happens. Remove that. Jim, how could that happen? I'll tell you how it can happen. There was a guy in central New Jersey. All right, that's all I'll say. I won't mention the company name or anything. In central New Jersey. He had his employees working on top of a bank. All right. And the bank had, no parapet or anything. They needed fall protection. And someone from the Avenel area office of OSHA was doing some banking. And they're on top of that, roofers putting on a roof, no fall protection. My understanding is in that case, that's in plain view. They got to go and check it out. He goes in there, interviews the foreman and the other workers. Hey, what are you doing? Blah, 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 blah. Identifies himself as a Department of Labor employee, the compliance officer. Goes through the whole thing, all right? And ends up, the guy ended up getting cited. But his employees did not tell him, he was on vacation, did not tell him the OSHA came by. As a matter of fact, because they had no training at all, they didn't even know what the hell OSHA was. What the hell, OSHA? What the hell is that? OSHA's down in Wisconsin. OSHA's that restaurant that used to be in New York. OSHA's that restaurant down south, I think outside of Chesapeake, Virginia, there's an OSHA restaurant. Thai food. You know, that sort of thing. So that's often how it happens. So what you need to do is tell people, hey, if OSHA shows up, this is what we need to do. X, Y, and Z. Have a plan in place, especially if you're in a targeted industry like roofing. I had a conversation yesterday with a roofer. Right, explaining to me all about the the challenges that they have as a roofing company. He says, look, I would try to, Jimmy, you know me, I try to do the right thing. Try to do the right thing all the time. However, there's companies out there that don't do anything. And one of his issues was, I'm out there to repair a roof. We're not putting in a new roof. Repair it. You think I'm really going to start drilling in anchor points? No. So explain to me, and we worked out a system that was workable with that. Again, you know, they don't know. People don't know. They're not trained. Company hires a lot of these places around here. They hire people literally off the street, day laborers, to do roofing work. Hey, you got a tool belt and a hammer? Okay, guess what? Now you're doing roofing. Have you ever done roofing? Absolutely done roofing. Okay, and pay them off the books. The whole thing. We're all familiar with it. And this is what happens here. So total was a lot. $287K here. I don't know. Yeah, it's just frustrating. All right, and we're going to So, we're going to do our regular news here. We have a whole bunch of news articles we did not cover here. We're going to save the election stuff for the hour 2. And of course, the computer locks up. The browser locks up. You gotta love it. Okay, I'm going to go to commercial break and try to solve this issue.
I'm sure you've heard the news. Safety training is evolving, and you should be too. Outdated safety training isn't just boring, it's dangerous. If your safety trainer is still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety from 25 years ago, it's time for a change. Imagine safety training that actually addresses the hazards unique to your workplace. No more generic, one-size-fits-all solutions. The Safety Wars team at safetywars.com is here to revolutionize how you approach safety, with customized training that's relevant, engaging, and effective. Contact Jim Polzel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces. Say goodbye to outdated safety training and hello to a safer, more productive environment. Visit safetywars.com now.
All right, this is a little bit election related in a roundabout way with what we opened up with in our monologue here. But here we have out of Australia, Labor backs, meaning the Labor Party, backs 16 as a minimum age to use social media ahead of national cabinet meeting. And so that's a proposed legislation. Again, exempt under 16. I tell you what, it might make sense with that, because guess what? Under 16-year-olds are not mature enough usually for doing this. Some kids are, some kids aren't. And the impacts of social media, not so good with that. A lot of positive, a lot of negative. A lot of people feel it's very positive. I've heard over the years. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to have to open up another browser because things are locking up here on the internet. Study. All right. Caterpillar fungus could be the surprising ingredient that stops cancer. This is from studyfinds.org. Here we have from Nottingham, UK. In a remarkable discovery, researchers have uncovered the key behind a traditional Asian medicine's potential to combat cancer. The compound in question, cordyceps, is reduced by, again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not playing one on the radio here or video cast. It's reduced by caterpillar. The study was published in the journal Febs Letters, F-E-B-S Letters, and was led by Dr. Cornelia de Moore from the University of Nottingham School of Pharmacy. Again, a lot of this stuff, as I have a family member involved in cancer charities, in a cancer charity. So a lot of this stuff reaches a dead end, or they file it because it may help later on. Deadlines, and this is also from Study Funds. Deadlines, demands, and disease. How your stressful job is crushing your cardiovascular health. Is your job stressing you out? Yes. Those workplace pressures might be doing more than just ruining your mood. They can be ruining your heart health. Yeah, well, you didn't need a study for this one. This was in the Journal of the American Heart Association. 60% of the workplace population feel overwhelmed by job demands, and understanding how occupational stress affects our health has never been more crucial. Again, this is part of the thing why I talked about rules for radicals. I talked about leadership. I talked about backbone. And, we're going to have to talk about human organizational performance. That's the next thing we'll talk about. And that's the 3-part series here on leadership. Here we have misinformation really does spread like a virus, this study reveals. This is from The Conversation and Study Finds. We're increasingly aware how misinformation can influence elections. Yeah. Tell me another one. About 73% of Americans report seeing misleading election news, and about half struggle to discern what is true or false. When it comes to misinformation, going viral appears to be more than a simple catchphrase. Scientists have found close analogy between the spread of misinformation and the spread of viruses. In fact, how misinformation gets around can be effectively described using mathematical models designed to simulate the spread of pathogens. Concerns about misinformation are widely held, with a recent UN study suggesting that 85% of people worldwide are about it. Yeah, misinformation. What's some of the misinformation we hear in the safety field? Right? You're outside, so therefore you do not need to worry about air contamination because you're outside. Oh, really? I don't need to do any industrial hygiene monitoring. They're outside. Really? All right. All right. Again, the other browsers are locked up, so I have to start from square one here. Okay. All right. This is, we're having huge problems with this in the Northeast. We have several fires burning right now. Mountain fire in Ventura County destroys homes and prompts more evacuations. The destructive blaze consumed several properties, prompted school closures for Thursday, resulted in power outages and forced authorities to issue evacuation orders. Brush fire has burned 14,000 acres as of Wednesday. That's yesterday. Again, got to be prepared for this stuff. Disaster preparation is critical. 3,500 homes are under threat. Not a good thing. All right. I think I can't play it because this thing. Do you remember this phrase? You got mail. I don't know if I could do it, but you got mail. Well, that guy, Elwood Edwards, died after a long illness. Elwood died on Tuesday, the day before his 75th birthday. His former employer confirmed the sad news. The details of his illness remain unclear. Elwood was staple at the Ohio station for which he worked for years, working as a graphics whiz and a camera operator, among other roles. He was asked to record just 4 simple lines. Welcome, you got mail, files done, and goodbye. In exchange, he had pocketed a cool $200. The company known as famously as AOL blew up, and millions worldwide heard his voice. He was, right? I tell you what, imagine if he got royalties from that. Holy wow. U.S. agency warns employees about phone use amid ongoing China hack. This is from the Wall Street Journal. A federal agency has issued a directive to employees to reduce the use of their phones for work matters because of China's recent hack. U.S. telecommunications infrastructure. Right, that's a safety war there going on there. And right, that's for the federal stuff, right? Do not conduct work using mobile voice calls or text messages, the email said, while referencing a recent government statement acknowledging the telecommunications infrastructure attack. While there is no evidence that the agency has been targeted by this unauthorized access, I ask for your compliance with these directives so we reduce that we will be compromised. I tell you what, kind of hard doing that nowadays unless you're sitting behind a desk. Doing any kind of field work, I find it hard to believe. How would you even do an OSHA audit or anything else without smartphone technology? I don't know anymore. We're back to paper and pencil and manual typewriters? I don't know. Trying to explain to my kids what a manual typewriter is kind of hard, you know? Beijing Navy appears to be gearing up to invade someone. Now appears to have 3 current classes of big deck amphibious assault ship. The Chinese Navy is hard at work on a huge new amphibious assault ship, a combination of troop, transport, and aircraft carrier that can carry hundreds of troops toward Taiwan. and then launch helicopters to deposit these troops behind Taiwanese defenses. That ship, the Type 076, makes sense. Many of the world's leading navies operate vessels of this type. The U.S. Navy has its 9 Wasp and America-class ships. French Navy has 3 Mistrals, and the Australian Navy has 2 Canaveras. The Royal Navy used to have an aviation assault ship, HMS Ocean, but it sold it to Brazil. So does that mean Brazil also has one? I don't know. What doesn't necessarily make sense is the other apparent assault ship, the class the Chinese are building and establishing quickly. Well, yeah, they're doing very little Occupational Safety and Health Administration regulations there, my understanding. So that's what I have here. We are on, where are we? How much here? Right, we got a couple minutes longer here, and you know what? I'm just going to do our outro, then finish with our normal patriotic music. I'll see you later on, and if I don't see you later on, I will see you tomorrow.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.
You got into the safety business because you wanted to protect people, but somewhere along the way, the job started controlling your time, your schedule, your priorities, even your income potential. What if the expertise you've built over the years in the field can give you something more? More freedom, more control, more ownership of your future. I'm Sheldon Primus, the author of 7 Steps to Starting a Profitable Safety Consulting Business and the host of the Safety Consultant Podcast, with more than 350 episodes helping safety professionals become consultants and grow their career. Consulting changed my life. In fact, I'm a full-time RVer, and 1 consulting contract paid for my home I live in today. Now, I help safety professionals build their own consulting practice through bi-weekly coaching calls, accountability, and personal guidance. But this program isn't for everyone. Start with the Consultant Readiness Audit at sheldon.coach.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM comes the complete signal transmission trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion, the book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all 3 books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live. inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.